Our students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another video. And before we get started, this video is actually part 4 to the clothes drawing video, how to draw clothes on and off your figure. This is actually part 4. Even though it's not titled that, it is about drawing your figure round. Stop drawing your figure flat. So with that said, let's go to the drawing table and start drawing rounded figures. All right, art students, welcome back to the drawing table. And today I'm going to keep it short and sweet to help you go from this to drawing a rounded character. So the first reason, if you're drawing like this, the first reason and the main reason is because you are drawing your figures with just one solid line. The body is best drawn when you break it up into pieces. Okay, so I think the most important thing is practice your shapes. Stop being lazy and practice your shapes. Just one whole day of just doing shapes, because that's all the body's made up of, is shapes. So and we'll come back to this guy again. Number one, it's going to be flat. You're drawing on a flat piece of paper, so your drawings are going to be flat, but there are ways to make it look not flat. So if I drew a circle, I like to do the snowman. If I drew a circle, okay, that would be a flat circle. All right, so if I put another circle on top of it, that can still be two flat circles. But keeping in mind of what it is, you start to see that it has some roundness to it. So let's put a third circle on top of that. And again, it could be just 3 flat circles, but in keeping in mind, you know, what it is, you'll say, okay, I see the roundness. So number one, that helps when you see, or when the viewer sees what it is or what it's supposed to be, but it's still flat. But there are 2 ways to make something look round. And number one is shadow. If you put some shadow on something to give it that roundness. Or you can put some type of texture on it. Let's just say I put a belt across this thing, and in the same way I did this and made it flat, give it some curve to it, or stripes, just a belt, stripes, and that gives it more of a roundness look to it. Now you can also put a shape in, which is really important, especially when you're doing foreshortening or trying to make something look more 3-dimensional. It's to take something and put it just in front of it. That gives it a roundness as well. Let's cut that out. It also changes your angle. It also changes the way somebody sees it. So you'd be looking at this thing more of a downward bird's eye view look, just by sticking one shape on top of another shape. Now, if I had drawn this like this, it would just look flat. So that's what I'm saying. Draw your pieces. If you know what each piece looks like, draw your piece first and then put that in front of the other thing. I think one of the things is that people are afraid to erase. I guess they think the eraser means that they made a mistake, because that's basically why we erase in the beginning, because it's not right. It is a mistake, but you have to get away from that, thinking that, oh, I can't erase, or, you know, I made this mistake, so I have to erase it. No, you want to use your eraser to improve your drawing, especially when you draw through, and that's what that's called, just drawing through something. A lot of times when I draw the character, I'll do an arm and then I'll do another arm and I'll draw through, and that gives it more of a 3-dimensional shape. So let us draw this character. And remember, the body is several shapes put together. Before I do that, I'm having a hard time seeing with this pencil, maybe because my glasses are dirty. Maybe I need another light. Let's try this, see if this works. Okay, so one thing, when you're drawing, let's just say I draw this long rectangle, right? Automatically you would say, yeah, that's a flat rectangle. So if I take this, I'm using this, I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm going to use this as an example. So if I'm looking at this, depending on where my eye line is at, here's my eyes here. I'm looking at it straight across here. If this thing was covered with stripes, just like this, and if I'm far away, all of these stripes will look flat or just straight across because I'm far away, even though it's round. But the second I start to get closer, then these stripes will start to go up or they'll curve around. I'm just doing this quickly. And the same thing with the ones underneath my eye line. It's going to curve around that way. So this is a key, especially when you're drawing people. If you're putting clothes on them or belts or whatever, always think about where your eye line is going to go first before you start drawing. You can draw your average figure. Then you say, okay, where's my eye line going to go? Even if you're drawing the whole picture. That's the first step. Is like, where's the eye line going to go? And then you know anything above the eye line is going to have a little curve up. Anything is going to have a little curve below. So if I'm drawing a character, was I going to jump into the character right quick? Yeah, I'm using shapes. I'm using oval, triangle, rectangle, not really squares. Yeah, I think these are the main shapes. It's a rectangle, oval. Let's stretch that oval out more. And circle, of course. Simple shapes to use. They're all flat until I actually add some texture, shall we say, to it and put a stripe around it. And then it looks more rounded. But if I'm doing something like this, I have to have this and this. So now you see it looks more rounded, and it's going to be the same thing with the figure. So if I'm drawing the character, I'm using these shapes minus the upside down house. So let's draw some arms. So I'm going to use the oval for the torso, circle for the shoulders, which are given, which are always across here. Now I'm going to use the arm. Instead of just drawing an arm, one piece, like a lot of beginner artists do, I'm going to take those shapes. I want my bigger eraser. And I'll just do it on this side. I'm going to take these shapes, the oval and the triangle, but I'm going to put it in front. I'm going to draw it right through this part of the arm. So instead of coming up here, I'm going to cut it through here. And chop that off. Already, by just using the shape itself, this triangle shape and this oval shape, it's closer to the body, or it's closer to the shape of the arm or whatever part you're drawing already. So again, don't be afraid of the eraser. Draw through and then erase the part that you don't want. And it's good to leave some like this. Let me show you with a pen. It's good to leave some of that draw through in there. Let's say this is my arm. So I'm going to put the other arm here. It's going to go up like this, but this is going to come through and then in right there. Hand is upside down. But by just leaving this little piece, then that shows a bit of a three-dimensional shape, or three-dimensional shape. Let's just say that shape. I can't think of the word right now. Versus this. Now, by using the triangle, as I said, you already kind of have the shape of the arm, a better shape of the arm versus just using just straight lines. All right, so let's go and draw the person. Draw the person. So I'm using these shapes. I'm using the oval for the torso. It's like, let's go back to my red pencil because I can see my red pencil better. I think sometimes it's hard for you guys to see. So I'm drawing this oval for, it's almost a circle, but it's not really. It's more of it should be more of an egg shape. The oval for the torso. I'm drawing a rectangle for the waist. Thank you. I always get those wrong. I'm doing more of a, I'm like, you can do the triangle shape. Let's just do the triangle shape. Usually you need a little bit more. You have your waist here and your hips go down here. So I don't really like to just do the triangle. That's why I call it the house shape, because you need these walls right here for your hips to go down. Then an oval, triangle, a circle for your knee. I do the knee. I do the knee. And then a triangle or cone. I think the difference between a triangle and a cone is the cone might be a little longer, whereas the triangle is flat and short. And then, of course, circle, simple shapes, oval, and again, triangle. Same thing as a leg, except you're putting the circle first versus putting it in the middle. Then I'm going to put my triangle, chop it off where I want my hand to go. And the hand could be a oval, another oval for the thumb, and oval, 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 oval for your fist in the beginning. I'm working on a hand video. It should be on the outside. Yes, it's just working on an oval video. I'm working on a hand, not video, book, drawing book. Yeah, so that's the inside. If the hand is out on the outside, it's early morning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, okay, so for the neck, it's just a rectangle. And here's my oval again, same thing. Fat oval, circle, cone. Make it a little longer. Circle, oval, cone, chop it off, just cut it, and then put your hand where you want your hand. Let's say make that a little longer, cut it off, same way you did with the hand for the wrist, and then put your triangle right there. That's the difference between the triangle and the cone. It's more flat. So these shapes, simple shapes, will make the body. And by doing that, you already kind of see it's round. So if you're drawing any action picture and where your eyes are going to be, but before I get into that, just connect. You start to connect right there. Connect those shapes. And then again, as I say, draw through right there. I should have bent this, but I will still draw into it. So we have my shoulder around this, and I'm following these lines. I'm bulking these out a little bit more, but basically I'm still following those lines. Connect, 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 connect. Make this a little more rounder at the calf. Make that a little more rounder at the calf. Connect, connect, connect. Get a little more shoulder. Connect. And then I have what will really pass for a nice body. If I ink this whole thing, which will kill my time, but let me do it real quick. When I ink, I tend to add more to it. So let's just see if I can ink without really adding muscles. Because for me, ink is the final stage, and I try to fix whatever I couldn't fix with a pencil. So I'll add more muscle to it. It's just a habit. But keeping my lines, or not deviating from my lines. I add a little more shoulder, and then the head. Then let's just mess that fist up a little bit more. A lot bit more. It's early. It's early. I don't know what I'm going left and right. But anyway, you have a better, something fell. I might need that. Yes, my man. Right off the bat, he looks more rounder because you started off rounder. He looks a lot more rounder than this guy right here. So if I am close, or the viewer is close, you're drawing this close for the viewer. Remember, wherever your eye line is, if there's a stripe or something across that, it's going to be just straight across, but as you go down, it's going to be rounder. So let's just say I'm going to put, let's say my eyeline is probably going to be right here with this guy. So I'm going to put the belt on. I'm not going to make it straight. I'm just going to give it just a little bit of curve. Say I put some bands on his leg. This is the boots. If I do the boots, the curve is going to get, as you go down, the curve is going to get a little more intense, I guess you can say that. Some straps on his legs, some boots. It's going to get more rounder. Straps on his leg. Maybe this is a soldier and he's got his little gun on or something. This is going to be curved because it's a t-shirt, period. So this is going to be round, and depending on the direction that it's turned, that arm is turned, you're going to get your curve. So if this arm is curved, if this arm is coming toward me, it's going to be curved like that because this cylinder is now coming towards you. So you're going to see that curve, the curve. And if it's straight, because it's going to be over your eyeline, you know, I said your eyeline is going to be right here. So it's going to be still going to be down like that. Or it's going to be flat depending on your eyeline, but because the guy's arm is bulky, it's going to be, I don't want to say flat. I don't want to really make anything flat on the drawing. So right off the bat, you can see that the guy or the figure is more round. Now, if I put a hat on the guy or a headband, because my eyeline is about right here, the headband is going to have an upper curve to it. Like that, because as I said, anything above your eyeline on something round, a flat object, or well, it's not flat, it's a round pole, you're going to start seeing up. The higher it goes. Now, if you're far, far, far away from it, it won't do that, not too much. But the closer you get, the more of an angle you get. Just like if you look at a window in a building, the window will be square. But as the windows go up, they start to take more of a triangle shape and get smaller. Because your eyeline is here, so you're going to see, let's say if your eyeline was there. So if you're going down, it's going to take this triangle shape again. This is quick, but you get the point. And then that also starts to make that look round. Like if I'm doing a wheel that's coming for me. Some kind of wheel. Yeah. Now if I turn it to the side, that's got to be real close. That's got to be real close. If I turn it to the side, if I saw some side of it, it would look like this. But if it's like straight in front of you and I don't have anything, but that would be extreme, I don't know, call it distortion. I don't know what it's called. It's called distortion. So 2 keys, bring your arm, bring whatever's in front of something, bring it in. Let's say if I drew this guy, I drew this one arm, I drew the delt, I drew the arm down. Notice I'm putting this inside that circle, that delt, and I drew the other arm up like this. Join that triangle. And then you have your hand, however your hand is going to go. Then you can ink that, or when you get to the final stage, you see how this one goes in front of that, this goes in front of that, and it gives you that more of round look. Makes it more rounder. And again, if you want to put up, depending on where your eyeline is probably like right in here somewhere. So I'm going to just curve this a little bit. If he's got a watch on, it's close to the eyeline. You could make it round, but not too much round, not too round, because his arm is right there at you. You can't see what I'm saying. His arm is right there and not up or not down. So you have that. And then, of course, t-shirts are going to be a t-shirt. So, yeah, it's going to have that curve to it. So that, yeah. All right, so one last thing. Let me draw this guy here and make him round. So now you know the steps. First of all, use your shapes. Use your shapes when you draw. Separate shapes. Draw into one, or put one shape in front of the other shape. Practice that. If you're having trouble, draw. Don't be afraid of your eraser. Take one shape, put it in front of another shape. Take another shape, put it in front of that shape. Take another shape, put it in front of that shape. Erase what you don't need. Don't be afraid of your eraser. What's in front of what? Okay, this is in front of that. This is in front of that. And this is in front of that. Circles in front of that. It doesn't make it look so flat. It's still flat, but it doesn't make it look so flat because you have these shapes in front of it. And if you do shadow, as I said, or you do stripes, some kind of texture on it, well, that box is going to be flat. So this is flat. I could make it more round. Then it makes it better. So let's do this guy real quick. I don't know why I can't do these 15-minute videos. I don't know why. It just doesn't. But you know, it's called knowledge. If you went to school, if we all went to school and our first period was 20 minutes, second period was 15 minutes, third period was 12 minutes, you would come out of school not knowing anything. So I don't see how these guys do these little short videos. All right, so let's do this guy. First of all, I'm going to do the oval for the torso, the chest, and the stomach. This again for the waist, the upside down house. Okay, so once I did this, I should have done this. I'm just so used to being able to do it. I should make it bigger, but I'm not. Too late. So one leg is going to go like this, oval, and then down, triangle. One leg is going to go, and I'm going to cut through here. I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to cut through here, because when you lift your leg up, it goes in front of your hip, waist, hip. So that's going to be an oval, a triangle. I can do the knee. Sometimes I forget to do the knee. Triangle, triangle. Cone, bear with me. Triangle. Cut it off where I want the foot. Triangle. So we have this. I'm going to put my head here. Two lines, the rectangle, rectangle for the neck. My shoulder is going to go across here. Since one shoulder is up, it goes kind of up and down. Circle, circle. And when you're drawing your shoulders, it's just like the what is it? The scale of justice. You have your weights. I guess that's what that's called. I don't know. So this same thing, it represents your shoulders. And just put, instead of this triangle, put the circle here, because that's how the collarbone goes. That's the word I'm trying to say, collarbone. So then I'm going to do my oval here. And I'm going to do my triangle here. And then I'm going to draw a hand, which I'm actually drawing hands. How could I forget how to draw a hand when I'm drawing a handbook? And then this guy's got a gun, so this arm is going to come out here. And this one is going to cut in through it and go up. Circle for the hand. This is his thumb. He's going to be holding the gun. The little trigger finger. This is the fingers that's going to hold the butt of the gun. So already you see the difference. Hopefully you can see the difference. Maybe is that too much light? Is that enough light? Turn it back on. I'm going to ink it anyway. So already you see it looks more rounder than this one does. So if I keep going, let me use my red, and I will ink this off camera. Then define the shapes. And I don't have to stray unless I want this guy to be like massive or something like that. But he's got clothes on. I'm jumping ahead. He's got clothes on. So when you're dressing the character, remember where's your eye line, when above and below, curve. So I'm going to give this guy, he's got a straight neck, but I'm going to give this guy more of a rounder neck t-shirt. I'm going to add a little bit more muscle to him. And coming down, he's got a belt, so I'm going to give some curve to that, just a little bit of curve to that belt. Since he's got kind of straight legs, I'm going to keep him with the straight legs. And I'm going to do a foot video. I should do a foot video. I want to do a foot video. Feet. How to do feet. Easy way to do feet. And since this is part of the clothes, this is right before I dress the character. Your round figure on clothes, which would probably be like the last video on drawing clothes on and off your figure. And this arm, to me, would be going forward. I'm thinking it can go back. If I do it this way, that's going to represent that arm going back a little bit. If I turn around and I do it the other way, it's going to represent that arm coming forward. If that arm comes forward, this is going to have to be in front. If it goes backwards, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the opposite way. So these little telltale signs, can you see that? These little telltale signs, I will exaggerate. These little telltale signs of making the body round. So because I want to do that, if I put a watch on this guy, I'm trying to see which would it be better to have it. I'm going to make it forward. So if I put a watch on this guy, it's going to be like that. So the shirt is going to be like that. So this is going to be in front of the bicep. So again, you can see considerably it's a better shaped drawing. And I'm going to curve this around like that because that arm is coming towards me, like this is coming towards you, the opening of that. So if this was a cylinder, it would look like that. You'd see the opening, that's the thing with the arms, draw through. So if you're not sure, draw both ways. Say, do I want the arm coming this way? Draw a stripe across there. And they said, well, no, that makes it look like it's going back more. And I think I wanted to make it look like it's coming to the front. Then reverse it. And then you'll say, okay, that's how I want it. All right, so, and then the X, again, as I said, add some kind of texture. And that's the only word I can think of right now, like stripes, but not texture like bumps or whatever. But that does help it to look rounder. So if I do this X, because this is round, I'm going to kind of round that X off a little bit. And that will also help it look like it's round. See, don't try to draw one piece. Draw the pieces in front of the other piece and then erase. Stop being afraid of your eraser, because your eraser basically is your friend. That is your friend, your helpmate, to make your stuff look good. So there you go. And because of that, I can even make this a little rounder. So again, where's my little scrap paper? Practicing shapes. Practicing shapes helps you when you do your figures. You know, how this tuna can is what I call it. How much of a curve do you want to see? I have nothing flat and round that I can show you. Let me use this. Top of the salt. This is why my videos get so long. It's a salt shaker. Top of it starts a curve. You see the side. You see more side and less of a curve as it goes flat. So you need to practice just drawing these shapes. And I'm going to keep beating that into you. Practice drawing these shapes because they come in handy. Not just come in handy, they are important. All right, so as I said, I curved this around a little bit more to give him more of a curved shape, even though it is a flat drawing. Now, next video, we're going to start putting the clothes on the figure with our folds and wrinkles. To even make the figure more rounder. So, draw with shapes. Break your character down. Stop drawing the one piece. And I know we all do that when we're young, but just try not to do that and then just keep going. Oh, the mask. Almost forgot. I'm looking right at him. Since the head is round, I'm going to do a round just like we were doing with the belt. Like that. There's his nose, and then his mouth. And then the eyes for the mask. Ninja Turtle style. One other thing that could help you if you're drawing straight, just the same way we did the wheel, you kind of go, instead of all the way across, you can kind of angle it like that, and that would make it look like it's going back because the front of it is bulging and the two sides are getting narrower. It's almost like drawing an eye, but you just chop it off, and it kind of gives you that round looking, straight on round looking look. Something for like a belt. I think that's going to be it for this. And the hand and the gun. Oval, oh yeah, little ovals. If you wanted the gun to be not so flat, then you can add the front of it, especially since we have established that the arm is moving, is kind of facing forward. Again, shapes. Work on your shapes. And then life is good. So that's going to be it for this video. Not too short, but it's sweet. And so now you know. Add our detail. Some wrinkles. We'll get into that in the next video. So that's going to be it for this one. I will see you guys in the next video. The last video for drawing your figure. Drawing clothes on your figure. On and off your figure. Something like that. You need to learn these titles. All right, that's it. I'm out. Later.